It'll make me look better.
Somebody
It'll
will
make I tripped you.
somebody will pick me up.
Okay, she's recording it.
I'd like to open the meeting. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name. Amen. We salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome everybody in the crowd tonight, all two of yous.
Okay. When do we get refreshments?
Pardon?
I said, when do we get the refreshments?
Yes. We usually have a public forum. Would you like to address the board now, or we do have your issue, I believe, on the agenda?
Okay, you tell me. I'm here to take
Well,
your lead. Yeah.
Did you?
We can certainly talk about it now. That'd be
You got a
great.
chance just to read it briefly?
I did. Yep.
You see any issues or problems with it?
Just, I'm interested in, we sent over materials and we put together a pretty detailed write-up of where we think, a fair decommissioning bond would be in our numbers for that. So just looking for some direction on the cost of a permit and cost of decommissioning bond so we can move forward with the project.
Okay.
We sent that over in October.
Yeah.
Does Billy have a copy, Bill Fowler?
He does, yeah.
You did talk to our attorney, did you?
I did, yep.
Okay. I have no problem with that, for certain. I personally have no problem with Bill's final draft here, or final. It is on the agenda to be passed, or approved, I should say. Is there anything you want to tell us about the project? I mean, the scope, the size?
I'm happy to go into that. Any questions you have?
You can briefly tell us maybe the size,
Sure.
and maybe when you expect to start construction.
Okay,
So
sure.
go ahead.
I wonder if, well, I'll talk while I look over here. Maybe we even have a few site plans we've left from our previous ZBA meetings. But I was just at Whiteface today and yesterday. Whiteface will be the off-taker for all the solar energy that we're producing here because we're gonna have a NYSEG meter in Whiteface's name, actually on the Robinson property. So all the credits from every kilowatt hour that's produced by the solar system will actually show up on Whiteface's bill. So I have a contract with Whiteface for them to buy all the energy that's produced by the system, even though it's sited all the way up here in Champlain, New York. This system is about 13 acres of solar panels. It's fenced, a fenced area of 13 acres for the first half of the system, and the second system we build will be another 13 acres. That's our plan. The first system that we get started on will be probably March. We would start to break ground on the system. So, end of next month would be looking to move things forward. So we're just trying to shore things up here as far as the cost of the building permit and cost of decommissioning so we can get rolling.
Okay, I believe you and I did talk about the cost of a building permit. Is the figure that we discussed, is that acceptable?
It's not my preference, I'd rather it be a lower number, but, I think that
Well-
it's aligned with what we've seen elsewhere in the state.
Yes.
They're talking about $6,000 per system.
Yeah, I reviewed some building permits in other projects in New York State, and that's roughly where I got the,
Yes.
okay. So you would the permit be in two stages also, or are you gonna?
It'd be two separate permits, yes.
Okay,
Yep, two separate projects, two separate permits.
and that cost is?
6,000 per project.
And you
Yeah.
have, that's.
I mean, it's something we can absorb in the project, yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah, if you said it was more than that, that'd be a challenge for us, for sure. But,
No, there was a similar sized project down there in the Rochester, Houghton area, south of Rochester. That's where Mickey had given me.
Yes.
I think maybe you sent them over.
yes,
A different project at different sizes,
right,
megawatts or whatever.
yeah.
That's, we talked about that figures.
Yeah, we've certainly seen them lower than that as well, but
Um,
there will be a number of inspections. I think that, in our conversations with other towns, we could, understand how they'd spend $6,000 or that's justified on that.
Yeah, because that's like a one-shot, once an expense only once.
Right,
For the
right.
permit,
Right.
okay? Second phase, any idea when that might develop, or?
I'm trying to move that as fast as I can. That's why I was at Whiteface today.
Okay.
Meeting with Orta in Lake Placid and then going into the facility Whiteface again. So, I'm looking at the end of this year.
Okay.
Breakdown on that.
Relatively quick then,
Yeah.
okay.
March would be when we want to pull the building permit for the first project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Approximately how many people would be employed during construction, any idea on that or something like that?
So we're gonna build an access road. We're gonna have the whole thing is fenced by a 7-foot fence, and then all the racking goes on pilings in the ground, and those are all galvanized steel, and then there's racking that goes on the pilings, and there are either pilings or helical screws, and then all the solar modules go on top of the racking, and then there's all the electrical work, bringing the 3-phase from NYSEG. So there's a number of different trades in that. There's some civil work with the access road. We have a fence contractor that we'll be bringing in, and then all the racking. That's a pretty specialized thing, so that's not typically local labor. But we're talking to Triangle Electrical here in Plattsburgh to be doing a lot of the medium voltage work and have a local civil contractor on site. You asked about numbers of people. Yeah, I mean it's hard for me to. I'm not sure exactly.
Will
each of those
anybody be
scopes.
employed on site all the time? I mean, after.
Once it's running, no.
No,
It's good and bad. I wish I could tell you that it's a big job creator, but there's just not moving parts in the system. We put it there, it sits there and it works, it produces energy. We come up and we'll have a contract with Mr. Robinson or someone local to do the mowing of the grass that's underneath the racking, but other than that, we'll do some preventative operations and maintenance, once a year, have somebody come out, look over the system, but there's not a lot of ongoing work.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Is the solar array itself tax exempt?
So there's always the special districts, which are, we pay tax on that, and then there's 15-year property tax exemption from the town and the school districts and the county because of the wind turbines. I was just meeting with the county yesterday at the IDA about that, so we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with the county.
Are you saying that this project is tax exempt?
There's a 15-year property tax exemption that's
So
statewide.
what we're saying is Donald won't be paying any taxes on the property and you won't either, is that what you're saying?
No, I'll be paying taxes.
Well, my question was.
Just the incremental improvement, the solar improvement itself, not the underlying land value. And that's still on the tax rolls. It's not like somehow Don's underlying property comes off the tax rolls or anything.
So there should be no loss of tax revenue?
Right, absolutely not,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
In fact, to the extent that it takes some of the acreage out of ag exemption, that's an increase in property taxes that we pick up.
Okay. Okay, well, certainly, we don't want to lose anything as far as.
No, you won't lose anything.
As far
In
as-
fact, you'll probably gain because they'll take my ag exemption away on that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That'd be an increase in taxes.
Okay.
So it'll be classified as commercial property after that?
Am I correct?
It won't
Up to the
be,
assessor.
I don't know how they'll do it, John, to answer your question.
Yeah, I think I talked to the assessor a little bit about that. and-
But, yeah, I talked to Jim,
Tim Smith.
but our assessor, who does it? When I was talking to him, he was at the house one day, but yeah, it'll be whatever, yeah, to answer your question, I don't exactly know how they'll classify it,
But it'll definitely change the land classification.
yeah. But it won't be ag, you know how the ag district works, cuts the taxes just about in half on the property. I'll lose that.
So technically, the town may gain a little bit on the taxes then.
Well, double.
You're not gonna get the ag exemption.
Right off the top, it's gonna double the taxes, at least double the taxes on that stretch of land.
Yes, I understand. Because you're no longer getting the ag exemption. Okay. Now, if we accept the bond, you will get that to us before construction, I will assume?
Yes, yeah, it's a contingent aspect of the ZBA's approval for this permit. We have a bond in place, which is why we were looking just to come to a final
So you
conclusion
have to
on
bring
what
that
the.
bond in before you can get your permit. so-
Right, right. Yeah. So we're just looking to come to agreement on what the bond value is. We put a pretty detailed
I think we know what
report.
it is.
Okay,
Right?
I just need that from you in writing, so yes, it is as we
Well,
proposed. that we're gonna carry. It's about $101,000 in decommissioning cost for year one. It goes up to $167
Yes,
in year 25.
yes, I had that chart somewhere, I don't have it
Yes.
right here.
Okay.
Question?
No, I'm following right along.
Okay, so, once you come to get the permit, the building permit itself, that's when you'll bring us the,
Yeah, it would be able to get the decommission bond. We just have to have from you in writing what the total bond value is.
the value of what now?
He can't go get the bond unless he has something in writing from you that says this is what the value is, the dollar amount. This is just stating percentages based on, it's not really talking about dollar amounts.
We,
I sent a pretty detailed, did you see the report I gave?
Yes,
Okay,
I-
breaking down what the
couple months
cost.
ago, yeah. That's the one that starts at 100, goes up to
Right.
166, you
Yeah.
know?
Right, right,
Okay, we can do that.
okay.
Do you understand, Julie, what we need? I have that, or Mickey has it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your attorney looked at that, Mickey looked at that. Yeah,
Yes.
it's been
Yes.
around for a few months. So.
I-
Okay,
I have
All right,
no
great.
other questions, I wish you well.
Thank you.
okay, thank you,
Uh,
thank you. We look forward to working with you.
Yep,
Thanks.
Thank you.
okay. I do need a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th meeting.
See you again.
Thanks, Don.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
Any questions on the January 12th minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We had a special meeting on January 19th. We need approval of those.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes of the special meeting held on January the 19th.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions on the minutes of January 19th special meeting? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. You have your planning board minutes, which are very helpful, for information only. You have your town clerk's monthly report. We need to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the town clerk's monthly report, and I actually think it was a very good job as usual.
I'll second that motion.
All right, thank you. I don't have a question, I guess I somewhat answered it myself, Julie. The bell jar permits, that's for gambling wager?
Yeah, that's for the VFW and, the Legion of
That's a
Rouse's Point.
permit.
Okay, okay, thank you. Any other questions on the town clerk's monthly report? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Northeast mailing, this is our Pitney Bowes postage meter. The gentleman was in here, a week, 10 days ago, maybe a little longer. If you read the second page, about the second paragraph down, the guy stuck in his head in my door, and I told him, he started explaining it to me, and I said, he wrote it up here, Larry wanted less money. Brian, you might be able to explain that a little bit. Jane did today, explained it to us today. The contract is slightly less, but the supplies are,
She felt the supplies would be less than half
yes,
or more than what
Yes.
she's paying now. The supplies, the strips and the ink and things like that, felt would be cheaper. And it's about $7 a month cheaper than it was before also.
well, yes. Sometimes you gotta pay attention to those little things. A few dollars here, a few dollars there.
I guess you can't buy postage meters.
They're leased, they're all leased out.
Lease them.
Any questions on this one? Does anybody have any concerns or?
So we're currently leasing one and this one's an upgrade, is that what we're saying?
Pretty much exactly the same.
Is it?
Pretty much. It's slight improvement, but it's got all the features.
This is a 63-month lease, and I have no clue why it's 63 months. But that's what they recommend.
I mean, if you feel more comfortable going with a shorter lease, or, but I didn't really get a chance to
Well,
research it. It's just unfortunate you can't, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't buy it and you can't,
the other thing I like about a longer lease, they can't change the terms of it for 5 years.
you know.
But we must have to sign a maintenance deal with them, it must be part of the contract
Oh, yeah.
Annual maintenance included,
included.
yeah.
There's no competing enterprise or business out there that does the same thing, isn't
They tell me Pitney Bowes has got 90% of the market.
She said that Pitney Bowes is what she's been used to, and
Okay.
that that's what she's familiar with, and that's what she
That's
likes.
what we used to.
You got one in the state,
Yeah.
works well.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
And I had no clue why, but instead of 49 cents, we sent a letter out, it's 48.5 cents, it's a half penny. It adds up, I mean, Julie can tell you, that sometimes a lot of mail goes out here. Some days not much, some days a whole lot. Okay. What's the will of the board here on this one?
I'll make a motion to approve the lease from Northeast Mailing Systems for $153.01 per month.
Okay. Do I have a second?
and I'll
Second.
Any questions? Any concerns? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Um, EMS sent us a report, which we don't always get. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, this is good.
I was at the EMS dinner last Saturday evening. They did thank both town boards for negotiating a new contract with them. They were very appreciative. They explained that between Champlain and Moore's, I believe it was 890-some calls per year. Pretty extensive. I understand it was almost 90 in January alone. Unreal.
Yeah, it's nice to have the report.
Yeah.
We knew they were busy.
Well, we've asked for reports before, we got one once. This one I didn't ask for, so I'm glad it came without asking for it. It's detailed if you read it over. Number of gallons of fuel and everything they use, their loaded miles. And there's different types of trips, I mean, different levels of service. That's strictly for your information. The next thing is strictly for information. It's possible we're gonna have a whole bunch of primaries this year. The first one being in April, presidential primary. State and local primaries, well, there's another one, federal primary is scheduled for June 28th. State and local primary is set for September 13th. And the regular general election. And we've got to be careful, we don't have to do it this evening, but we do have to reschedule our November meeting. It's on the day of election this coming year. We'll have to consider that. I think before we did that, we did it on a Monday instead of a Tuesday, if I'm correct. But we'll certainly discuss that later. So this is,
If you moved it, the machines will be set up in here like the
Yes.
day before. Would
Yes.
it be in the way of a meeting on Monday? It wouldn't.
actually, they bring the equipment in, and the election workers on the next morning set the equipment up.
Okay.
I don't believe it would be an issue.
It wasn't last time.
Okay.
No. Okay. They get here like a half hour before the polls open to set up.
That's plenty of time.
Or even after we leave, on a Monday night, if we leave here, we can move the chairs back and help. Then they'll set it up the way they want it anyways. Anyways, that's just strictly for information. The next thing is the North Country Gas Pipeline notification list. These are people to contact if there's any problems with the gas line. We keep this on file if anybody ever has a problem. Call us, call the state. The next thing is a request for increase in pay for lifeguards. And I checked on this with Jane. This year's budget has already been approved for this coming summer, and we need to inform these people that if they want any reconsideration of the contract, they need to put that in before our budget next month.
They should put that in the fall so we can include it in the budget.
Yep, so we can get them a letter to do that. Okay? And I have no problem with these, so certainly a worthwhile project. Huh? You have your code officer's monthly report? Okay. Okay, before I forget it, we do need to schedule a public hearing for our next meeting, which will be on the 8th of March, pertaining to intimate domain for 2 or possibly 3 parcels of property. So I could have a motion to approve the public hearing on the 8th, probably at 7:15 or 7:30, either one. So Bill can get these in the newspaper in plenty of time this time, okay? It has to be in the paper 5 times, he tells me. And I think that the last one has got to be at least 10 days before the meeting. So Bill needs to know this soon. So I'd like a motion.
I'd like a motion to schedule a public hearing for possible eminent domain proceedings for 7:15
Okay,
On March 8th. On March
on
8th.
March 8th.
okay,
I'll second that.
thank you. Any questions on this one? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. I know of no highway superintendent's reports. I'm in contact with Alan just about every day. We've had a fairly easy winter up till now. Doesn't mean the next 6 to 8 weeks could change, and our sand pile is more than adequate, for certain. He hasn't used a third of it, I don't believe, this year so far.
You know you're jinxing it right now.
What's this?
You're jinxing it.
You're jinxing it.
Very cold this weekend.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we've had some severe storms in February and March, so things could, okay.
You did mention that they still haven't been able to get the person to appraise the property.
That is correct. As of today, Alan thought he was in Florida. Okay, and I did ask Alan today, and he will report, I'm sure later, that if something happens that we do not take possession of this possible sand pit, we do have a backup plan, and it has a lot to do with how much is left over this year,
Right.
okay? So, I mean, if it doesn't happen, we'll be okay, but certainly ain't gonna be okay another year after this, okay? So, we're working on that. That's about all I can say on that one. It's been a fairly easy winter. We're very lucky, fuel oil prices are down, it's a big help for the highway department.
Have you had any input from the county about the impact of the Canadian dollar on sales tax revenue? Any concerns about that yet?
Well, the last I knew, they always come up with what we would call a conservative
Right.
number, figure. They've always met it. I don't think there's gonna be any increases that I know of from this year. Even this year wasn't what they had expected, but it met their projections, okay? What they project is less than what they really think they might be taking in.
Right.
They always kind of project low, which is good. They claim that the price of gas is hurting the sales tax revenue,
Mhm.
big time, okay? But the price of gas is down, people buy more cars, bigger cars, and as you well know, if you buy a new car, there's a hunk of sales tax on a new car, okay?
Mhm.
We make up for a lot of gallons of gas, so, okay. Car dealers are all doing good. Did you vote on this one or not, Joe? Did we decommission? No. I guess I need a motion to approve this decommissioning bond as presented.
There's no dollar amount, is there?
Uh,
Did you say?
No, there isn't. Larry got it
Yes.
somewhere, but
As,
Okay.
yes,
You
as,
have a scale, right,
yes,
somewhere?
yes.
Okay.
I have it, Mickey has it. I didn't think to bring it. Basically, it starts out the first year at least at 101,000, roughly, and it goes up to 166,000 or something at the end of 20 years. It's like a 2%, 2.5%
Right.
increase,
so
okay?
that's the 2.5%.
Yeah,
That
yes,
is the schedule you have.
yes. So,
Are we aware of how much would it cost to clean the mess up if they moved out? Well, I mean, we're just saying 100,000. Do you think that would do it?
Well, let me put it this way, from what he's telling us, if they just walked away from the project, we've got a lot of scrap. Well,
That's-
if we have to, they're gonna have to pay us, the decommissioning bond would have to pay the town,
Right.
okay?
Probability of that happening, I think they've done their homework, they wouldn't put something like this up there
No.
to fail.
This is, I think they told me it's roughly a $12 million project or some crazy thing, it's a lot of money. They're not out here to lose money, they're here to make a lot of money, okay?
Making money off the
And to
sunshine.
my knowledge, it's a south-facing site,
Mhm.
and it's close to the, well, not transfer station, what do you call it?
Transmission lines?
The big electrical,
Substation.
Transmission line.
transmission line, I was gonna say transfer, yeah, transmission line. And that's what they need to be, fairly close to, okay? So I think that's a big consideration why they're going where they are.
So, it really is not a concern for me to ask him this, but what happens in year 16, when that thing is still working and his tax exemption is gone? He acknowledged that he has a tax exemption for
He has an
15
ag
years.
exemption at this time.
No,
The equipment.
The
The equipment
In
has-
15 years, you mean?
Right, what, in year 16,
Somebody's gonna have to assess it.
right,
I would assume our assessor would do that, wouldn't you think? He's gonna-
Yeah.
to me, there
No.
should be an assessment on it right now as
Well,
a
I
new,
think there will be an assessment on it.
and
it
it's
would
just
be
exempt.
Exempt,
Well,
yeah.
Usually the assessment goes by the dollar amount of the building permits, if I'm correct.
I don't know,
If the building permit was $12 million, for instance, okay?
well, the building permit's 6.
I don't think
What,
that,
6, pardon?
I don't think that's correct. I don't think they assess by the building permit.
Do they on a new house?
Oh, you're talking about,
The
No.
value,
for,
the
to
cost.
apply for the building permit?
No, because anybody, they get a building permit, they can say the project only costs us $10,000, but it could cost $30,000. They don't,
It's the assessor that comes up with the value of the property,
yeah,
okay?
I mean, they don't always
Certainly,
put
the assessor
down.
looks at cost of value of property, what it might cost to build that thing, like Julie's probably correct. If You get a building permit for a house and you say $50,000, and the assessor feels it's worth $100,000, I guess you're gonna pay tax on $100,000.
The value of a building would most often appreciate. What's the value of something like this? Is it gonna depreciate because it's older and less?
I don't know
In
that.
talking to Tim, I guess he said the jury's still out on that one. I mean, there isn't, and he said there's not anything to
There's
go
no
by.
history. There's
Yeah,
no
there's no
history.
history.
Yeah,
I do believe Tim will be back this week, they thought
I'd
last week.
just like to stay on top of that part of it, because
Yes.
I know the life expectancy is 20 to 25 years, so the bond is,
20 years plus though.
right, so to me, there's 5 years of full, whatever that value is of assessment for school taxes and for property taxes that they're basically exempt from.
Who was giving them the tax break anyway? I don't get it.
It
It's
was
the county, right?
County through the state.
Yeah, but is the
Yeah.
school giving them a break too? County and schools do different things.
Yep, that's what he said.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
something.
But all the thing that irritates me is, we're talking about a $12 million plus project, that we're not gonna get anything out of it for 15 years.
$6,000 building permit.
We are gonna get $6,000 twice.
Well, you know what that amounts to? It's like a drop of water in a bucket.
Well, no, I'm just,
Well, what do you do with those cell towers, though? We don't get anything from them, do we? Or do we?
You must
yeah,
have,
there should be an assessment on
You mean the
this.
cell phone towers?
Yeah.
No, there's an assessment on
There should be.
it. On somebody's property, they're paying on. At least, what's the name says he is there?
I know it's, the state will get their money out of it, equalization and assessment goes through, and we do all, we pay all that stuff for every poll and.
Yeah. See, the thing that irritates me is these people come here and they get a 15-year tax exemption. And the guy that's been here since forever, he's still paying through the butt.
is your assessment done by the state? Like the railroads is done by the state?
Yeah,
The local assessor does not assess railroads, the state comes up with a figure per mile or
Yeah.
something. Okay, yours is probably the same.
Mhm. It's different based on whether it's on the highway right away or outside the highway right away, different rates. Well, I don't mean to sidetrack us, I just think it's important that we make sure that we know what we're gonna get, and we've got it documented, because I don't picture any of us around this table, maybe Brian, he's young, 15, 20 years from now, saying, oh yeah, remember that, we should start getting some tax revenue on
They're
that.
certainly not gonna send us a letter saying that.
Yeah, they're not gonna,
Exemption
here's your
ran out, I'll
check.
tell you that.
Yeah, actually, Jane has got a couple of the pilot agreements that the county had done that had expired, and the county wasn't notifying us, the county IDA.
Yeah, you just, that's exactly what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, there was no mechanism in place to notify you that it's up.
A
Yeah.
lot of the
In
pilot,
20 years, none of us will be around this table.
what are we all doing?
Well, I know in 20 years, I don't think I'm gonna still be working, who knows?
You're pretty young.
I'll be 65, ready to retire.
Yeah, well, that means you'll still be here then. Hopefully.
Maybe Tim can help us on that one.
Yeah.
Because
Shall we just approve this thing on conditions of checking it to be sure that we're on the right track?
Well, I think we indicated to the gentleman that we were gonna approve this.
No, it doesn't mean anything. Do you think we should do this with conditions as soon as we find out what we're doing?
What could happen that we would not approve it?
I can't think of anything except that it's the $6,000 enough. They said they called out of Rochester and that's what they were getting out there, but I mean,
Well, Larry, you did the calling around, didn't you?
I got the figures, Mickey gave them to me from this gentleman, okay?
yeah, I know, that's his figures.
Okay.
And I
That's-
went to a approximate same size megawatt project, okay? And I called this guy on the phone, and we talked a couple figures. And he kind of indicated to me, well, we'd like to get it for nothing. Well, I said, well, that's not gonna happen, I mean,
Mhm.
okay. So I said, well, and Mickey told me himself, this thing's gotta be worth a few $1,000s
Yeah.
to us. I mean, we are gonna gain $12,000 first year, so to speak, if they do the second phase.
But if somebody built the $10 million house here, we certainly get more than $6,000 for the permit.
Well, what happens is by the square footage.
Yeah, it goes by square footage.
But nevertheless, if it's valued at $12 million, or it's a square foot or the square inch, it's still $12 million.
Yeah, but not only, Bill Favreau's looked at all this.
Yes, I have,
See, we're talking two different things. We're talking about a bond if they abandon. it.
Decommission.
That's decommissioning bond.
And you're talking about the building permit.
yes,
I think what we're approving is that schedule that we don't have in front of us that shows incrementally how much the bond increases over time.
I believe, Brian, did you see that? It was like 2.5% each year.
Well, it says right here,
It says
2.5%.
Yeah, but he had,
Increase
I
at the
think
rate
he's
of,
saying that he had somewhere, either you or Mickey has the dollar figure
Yes.
and the 2.5% increase per year for the
Yes.
20 some odd years, so,
So it's an escalation clause, that's all it is. Okay?
yeah.
Now, well, what happened if,
Well, if the project is discontinued and decommissioned, and they, as the owner of the facility there, remove it themselves, so that there's no burden on the town to move it, would you still get the bond?
no,
Wow.
no.
That's
So-
The bond only protects us if they walk away from the project.
Yep.
If they don't tear it apart. If they tear it apart on their own, we don't get nothing,
All right,
okay? That bond is for us,
It's just protection for the town is what it is.
right.
if we have to hire a contractor to go in there, okay? It's a big project. Well, anyways, it's the will of the board, but, I
now what about the building permit down there? Does that have to be, did you talk to Bill Favreau on that? Does that have to be, you guys have to set a price, you have to approve a price for that? Because that's not in the law right now.
Right, Mickey asked me, I did not talk to Bill about the price of the building permit, I did not. But Mickey told me that's something the town board needs to set. There's nothing in the town zoning laws or building laws, building permit laws now. And
Well, does that have to be by local law or just by resolution?
resolution, as far as I know, I mean, okay. I can ask that question, but we're not quite at the building permit stage yet.
Yeah, but if he wants to start in March,
Yes.
he's gonna be getting his building permit soon.
I think, myself, I think $6,000. You'd have to have quite a few housing permits to get $6,000, wouldn't you, Joe?
Yes.
A lot of them.
Well, we charge, I think it's 3,500 for cell towers. That's the building permit cost, I think, 3,500.
And it's a one-time,
Yeah.
you don't get any fee during the,
No. It'll be the same as this, it'll be the one time, except when he comes back for the second.
Well, a cell tower can't be worth $13 million dollars.
No.
Well, anyway, let's work on the decommissioning thing.
Well, we don't want to.
I don't see any problem with their deal on decommissioning. I just wondered about the permit thing, and that's really not on our
Okay, so
agenda.
probably, the motion should state that we approve it with the escalation clause for the 20 years.
Or if it's long, it keeps going up 2.5%.
Yes.
If it goes beyond 20 years.
Yes.
Until such time as the project is actually discontinued and decommissioned, so it just keeps going up.
I know Placer's been working on one, they,
Not happy, are they?
well, they want to get in there, they want to get in, the town wants it there. But site or something that is, they were going to share that with the school district too, I think.
And it's also got a penalty in case they don't have the bond. And that, there's a penalty clause,
Yeah, $100 a day?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with the attorney's recommendation myself, so.
Well, as far as decommissioning, I don't see us having any problem of approving that. I just wondered about the permit, that's all.
Okay.
I guess I'll make a motion that we accept the terms of the decommission bond.
Okay, do I have a second to that? Thank you. Large project, I think we probably should have a roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Clark?
I,
Aye for myself. I will get,
The fee schedule to us, so just let us know.
yes, I'll get you that, and I will also talk to Bill and Mickey about the building permit cost. Okay? He pretty much agreed to the figure that he threw out, and in fact, it was less than that at one time, and I told him, you know what I mean? So, it's like Mickey said, they're not gonna let this slide for a couple $1,000 or something, they're gonna grab it. Okay? Well, we don't wanna outprice the guy, but we want him to do his fair share.
All right, you know, our job here is to protect the taxpayers,
Yep.
and that's what we're supposed to be doing here.
there's no way that we can get an annual assessment fee like bill of taxes on this.
No.
It's paid
I don't know.
$6,000.
Well, you can ask, you can always ask.
Right.
Few tax, I think their incentive in New York State is that 15 years, whatever it is, okay? That's their incentive, okay?
They have they're getting other incentives.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but that's,
Yeah. Like you said, one of those deals is gonna go to Lake Placid, in name only, of course, and the other one's gonna be theirs, and that's not in name only, that's theirs.
Yeah, so when he comes up with that, there should be some kind of formula if he can, do it to kilowatts or megawatts, based on the size of the project or acreage, so in the future, we have something to go by, because this guessing,
Yeah, well, they're not gonna update you on how much power it's producing and what they're getting either, I can tell you that.
well, we go by acreage or, size.
Then you'll know what it's capable of, if they tell you, it's capable of, say, 2 megawatts, and we're only producing 1.
No, I meant like
Under
by
insurance.
acres, about $500 an acre, something
I
like
don't know
that.
if I mentioned this letter we had written up today. per Bill Favreau's advice to that person, acknowledge that we received it, okay? I won't say too much about that one. I will be seeing Bill Friday night. Not to talk about business at that meeting, but I will be seeing him. Bill gave me his personal desk phone to call in before 8 o'clock in the morning. Much better time to get a hold of him
Oh, there you go.
before he goes through the switchboard. The help don't get there until 8, but he gets there at 7:30, so. And that's gonna be a great help to me. I call from home, and sometimes it's hard to get a hold of him during the day, or if I'm not at the desk, he's not at the desk. Sometimes it takes a while to do it. So that'll be good. Julie, what do you have for us?
This is Water District disbursement number, Water District 6 disbursement approval number 18. Vernier and Carr for $31,323.26, and property taxes on Boyer property for $367.74.
I need a motion to approve as presented, if I could, if we could.
I'll make the motion to approve it as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions?
This is for payment of
The water project, partial payment for the water project.
the amount of,
Well, total is 31,000 plus,
The 367
31,660.
is the property taxes reimbursement for the time that we own the property, but they had paid the taxes on it. So we're just reimbursing them for the taxes.
so we need, do we approve that? No.
We got a motion and a second.
Right.
But we need a roll
Okay.
call.
Need a roll call vote. Any questions first? John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Clark?
I,
Aye, for myself. You have anything else for us, Julie?
Just so that the board know that I started working on the water bills, for the EDUs. And it's coming along. Started putting the information in today, so I should be done for Friday.
Okay.
Good.
I can get it mailed out probably Tuesday,
Okay.
because we're closed Monday.
We'll close next Monday. And James off next Tuesday, I'll be here all 8 hours. You got your abstract for paid vouchers, we need to approve the monthly bills.
Make a motion to approve the monthly bills.
I saw the voucher.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second that.
Any questions on the monthly bills? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. I don't know if you got this before, this state requires a signature for everybody, board members, I should say, you know.
I told you you're gonna sign your life away, Clark. You didn't believe me.
This is what we just
Now you
approved.
know.
Yeah.
You just gave 2 houses away, you didn't
Spell
know.
it wrong, right?
You did, I don't know if I mentioned, we got the dog control officer report came in as the meeting started. I did tell Shazy town today, they're gonna give us a copy of their dog control officer's contract. So we gotta do something there in the next couple of months, hopefully. Okay. She's been quite busy. Does anybody else have anything to bring before the board? If not, there's a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Steve?
I'll
Yes.